with my roommate, J.P. Morgan Chase. And
That's him stretched out on the deck if you haven't met him yet.
And I want to thank everyone for their contributions. I can't thank everyone enough, but I will point out Janice Davis, incredible today. Dark Janice with her Biden glasses on. Cracking. Patty Ovino yesterday over here just had dental surgery. Over here moving tables, moving stuff around. It was incredible. You know, all the gals in the kitchen. Ivy, unreal, border collie. Ivy, the border collie came in and snapped it. Okay, all right. So, you know, I want to say that Wyman and I we've known each other for a long time, and we had a lot of things in common. I was born in Miami, and he was born in Miami. We both had the same birthday, November 3rd. We always called each other on our birthdays, so on our birthdays. His middle name was Walter, correct? My middle name is Wallace. So we always talked about how the hell did I get stuck with Wallace? Of course, he was married to, had a beautiful bride for over 50 years, Sandy, and then how about those Rays? Having a great, awesome start this year.
The best season ever. I'll talk about the Rays all night.
That's where we, been kind of, anyway, we got it. So I do have a couple things I want to say. I always thought that, back to the comparison, I was kind of a boy dad, and he was kind of a girl dad. But then, as I read all of these things that everyone said, and all these young people that are in this room right now said about Wyman and the way they affected his life, not only female, but male, and what he did. So I said, okay, here's the word. I don't know if it's a word, but it is now. Wyman had dedication. Right? That's what he had, and he spread the love. And so, I can't have everybody here, and I always have a message. And I've spoken at dozens of memorials in my life, and I can tell you this, that it's times like these where you have to think about how precious and fragile this life is. And how short it is. And the problem I have is that we do all these things, and one of the things right now is we have to think, we are forced to think about our own mortality. In this moment, we have to think about the D word. So, to me, the human trouble is that we imprison ourselves with crosses and human sacrifices and crystals and taboos and totems and the promise of eternal life, and we don't let it go. We don't live. And I'm saying this to all you young guys here, young folks here today. It's like, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, you think you have time, but you don't. So go and live your life. Grab it. Get up every day with passion and enthusiasm and gratitude. That's the most important thing, is gratitude. And if you can't be passionate about life, what the hell else have you got going on? Right? I mean, really. And so, I encourage everyone to, let off the bowstrings. Go do those things that you want to do. Go those places.
No matter how old you are.
Right, there you go. My father said, my favorite father saying.
All means all y'all.
My favorite saying from my father was, I've never seen an armored car following a hearse yet. You cannot take it with you. Okay? So
And they
Come on.
can't make you pay for it every year.
I want you to put a picture of Wyman on your refrigerator. And when you get up every day, you think about, I'm going to suck the life out of this day. Just
We're
like
blaze on.
he was the gentle giant, and we're going to miss him. And he will live forever in our hearts and minds. May his memory always be a blessing.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Wyman.
Raise whatever you got.
I got nothing.
It's quite nice, actually.
If I could raise him, I would.
Tag Miss Ivy Garcia.
It's not good. It's not. It's not good. Hi, everyone. I'm Ivy. He's God's sister.
Here.
Want me to read it?
No, you want to read it. I can't read it.
I know,
I
it's
know.
okay.
It's in the hand.
Be careful, friends.
My dad, are you recording this? Should I?
Yes. Yes.
I cut the other one short, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. This is from
Yeah.
Woody and Mary Ellen, my godparents, who have known my dad since 19, a long time ago.
56 years.
That what she said.
Yeah, so my dad, which we'll get into in the story, worked at Publix with Teresa.
My mom's older sister, Wyman's wife, our mom.
So, alright.
And they're in North Carolina, so they sent this through Ivy.
Yeah. Alright, ready? Okay. Why?
That's what I want to know.
Why?
Anyway, so.
That's a good question. Many of you have known Wyman for many years and thought him to be polite, incredibly kind, but incredibly grumpy. You may have thought his grumpiness was due to aging or ailments, but it wasn't. Even when I met just goes there, right? Right, yeah. Even when I met Wyman as a young teenager, he was even then a grumpy old man. The essential thing you have to understand about Wyman is that he abhorred physical effort of any kind. For those of you that watch Survivor, Y would be the first guy voted on. At the time I met Y, he was attending Berkeley Prep, which begs the question, preparing for what? His kids were already rich.
Counting his money.
I was typing this, I'm like, what are you doing? All right,
Thank you, Godfather.
He was dating Sandy White, whose sister Teresa and I were working at Publix on Neptune. Sandy was working at the Britain Theater back in the day. I think it was for all the free popcorn she could eat.
It was.
True story.
In those days, I never saw Sandy eat anything but popcorn and french fries. It was like seriously nothing else.
It's true.
Needless to say, we became great friends. As we navigated our lives throughout the 60s, we both married our sweethearts, myself to Paulette, Wyman to Sandy.
It's okay. It's okay.
Breathe.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Stop and restart.
Right.
I like to keep videos short, so I'm gonna stop and restart. Got plenty of time.
You got a hanky in your hand.
We both drove to Ridgeland, South Carolina to get married, and remarkably had daughters 1 year apart.
1 year and 5 days.
1 year and 5 days.
I'm just saying. If you're gonna go there, Godfather.
The Vietnam War was raging and we were called up. Wyman was excused due to high blood pressure. I was drafted but was determined not to go.
You got a hanky.
Yeah.
He went AWOL.
He did.
Yes, he did.
Bye-bye.
Power to the people.
Smart man.
Thus began the odyssey that would occupy my life for the next 3.5 years. Why and Sandy gave me a place to hide out.
Sand.
I'm sure the statute of limitations is long.
Yeah, it's expired. You're safe now.
In their typical non-judgment fashion, they accepted everyone into their lives. Y and Sandy moved to the ranch, which is now Northdale, and of course there were parties, many, many parties. Amy, Jen, and Ivy's birthdays with Cherry Yum Yum, Halloween parties, MK rides, and the occasional pot party. The occasional.
Shocking.
Of course, in true fashion, Wild Bill Opal and Toby the bear also lived at the farm. Wild Bill would occasionally entertain us with a private show of Toby the bear wrestling. Where else could you experience such craziness? In the 70s, I resolved my issues with the Army, my marriage fell apart, and I met Mary Ellen. She embraced Y and Sandy as I had as dearest friends. We traveled together to the Bahamas and to High Hope in St. Anne's Bay, Jamaica. A lot of you guys. Right. Many, many times with many of our dearest friends. Such great times. Y had a great mind. His memory was legendary. He also had the greatest of fortune to marry Sandy. Saint Sandy.
True. Raise your glass to that.
Hallelujah.
She had infinite patience. She brought art and love to their home with consistent joyfulness. A perfect match to Wyman's good-hearted grumpiness. Y and Sandy asked us to be Amy and Jen's godparents. We were honored. It was only later that we learned that the responsibility included the moral upbringing of the child.
Winning!
Wow. Whoa.
True story.
We thought,
Bird.
who thought that was a good idea? Their home on Van Dyke with 10 acres sold, and they downsized to a house in Citrus Park. Mary Ellen and I bought a house in North Carolina, determined not to retire in Tampa, where we had lived for 30 years. Sandy and Mary Ellen would escape to North Carolina to paint and for house projects, but mostly to shop. I stayed with Y for a few months before retiring. Each evening, he would greet me at the door with a cocktail. I would tell him about my day, and he would reveal which documentary or music concert we would be watching. Yes, like an old gay couple. What a sweet gig. Soon we moved to North Carolina. Y and Sandy came with us in January 2002. 2002. We drove to the house in a blinding snowstorm. We had never seen such snow. On the way up the mountain, we met a snowplower and asked them for help. They yelled, "Go back to Florida."
It's great.
Oh no, I just
Lost it?
lost it. Hold on.
All right, everyone, take a breathe, take a drink, take a pause in the video.
I'm so sorry.
You did a good job. You did a wonderful
Oh no, it's not over yet.
Oh yeah, she's just getting warmed up.
That's what I tell all the girls.
But
Sorry. And
he's old enough to understand.
she left me wide open. You know, come on.
He's old enough to understand that.
Oh my God, Amy.
Can't find a real surgery.
Yeah, of course. Please hold.
Don't.
All right, we're back. We're back. We're back.
Okay?
Go back in.
I wish I could afford it. All money.
We love, you guys ready? Yeah. Almost done.
You hear my voice, that one?
All right. We love their vid. Why? Wallace.
We're back.
Bring it back in.
We love their visits. Each time they stayed longer and longer. When they installed a coffee maker and small fridge in our downstairs guest room, we suggested they look for a mountain home of their own. And so they did. The last time we saw Y and Sandy was last July, my 75th birthday party. As always, we were as comfortable as old slippers. I wanted to do this remembrance and at the same time recognizing that I wouldn't do justice to the 56 years of entwined friendship. My daughter Ivy and Y and Sandy's daughters, our goddaughters Amy and Jen, are all lifetime friends, as it was in the beginning with us. So see what you started, Y. We love you all and wish we could be here with you today.
Yay.
Hand it to somebody. You don't have to do it. All right.
Jen, I got it.
This too shall pass. Thank you all for being here today. We start with gratitude, of course. Thank you all for being here today to honor the man who was your friend, Sandy's husband, Aiden's grandpa, Jen's and my dad. Wyman. Why? Because I wish I had the words to do justice to him and his life, but they do not exist. Or if they do, I can't find them. Here goes. If you knew my dad, and if you're here, you very likely did. You knew of his love for his family, his friends, his obscure documentaries, his car racing, and his music. He could find a song or a lyric for any occasion. No, seriously, any occasion. My earliest memories of life in the log cabin on Ragg Ranch involved 4 speakers suspended from the 15-foot high ceiling on homemade dark wood platforms held by these thick ropes for the full quadraphonic sound experience. Leon Russell's Tightrope and Traffic's Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys still play in the log cabin in my mind and on this playlist. I'm up on the tight wire. One side's ice and one is fire. It's a circus game with you and me. I'm up on the tightrope. One side's hate and one is hope. But the top hat on my head is all you see. And the wires seem to be the only place for me. Speaking of him in past tense doesn't make sense. It isn't right. Our world doesn't make sense with him.
Yeah. I second that.
Our parents met on a blind date when they were 16 years old and were inseparable from that day on, as the story was told to me. They married at 19 and had me 7 months later. I was told I was early for a while. And then I did the math and Dad said, we sent you to Berkeley, you couldn't, never mind. When they were 20. In many ways, we grew up together. They were babies. They were babies lucky enough to create a beautiful village of like-minded babies, many of whom had babies of their own. Ivy, for example. To support each other and collectively raise children who would grow up to appreciate and honor the village that raised us. As I struggle for words today, I will follow my dad's lead and pull from some of the lyrics that have created the soundtrack of our lives. One of the first times I remember Dad saying, "Now this song made me think of you." He was referencing "Breathe" by Pink Floyd. He sat in my room and said, "Okay, this part here. Breathe. Breathe in the air. Don't be afraid to care. Leave, but don't leave me. Look around. Choose your own ground. Long you'll live and high you'll fly, and smiles you'll give and tears you'll cry. And all you touch and all you see is all your life will ever be." I was dumbstruck. The words were so beautiful. The message eloquent and simple all at the same time. Lyrics came alive for me at that moment. I listened to Dark Side of the Moon on vinyl every single night for months after that. And I started paying really close attention to beautiful songwriting.
Okay. Sorry. It's too long.
You can stop. You want me to just stop? Okay, thanks for being here.
Put those together.
I know, I'm just teasing you.
Okay, I'm ready.
We could
You good?
slice it together.
All right, take 2. I started paying close attention to beautiful songwriting. The power in the words to move us to laughter and joy or reduce us to puddles of tears was astounding. It still is. Dad used music and lyrics to say what he was challenged to say in his own words. Please indulge me as I share a few that he loved, which hit particularly close to home. When he talked to us about our family as we were growing up, he referenced Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Our house, say it with me, folks, is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy because of you. How perfect is that? Jen and I always said that we had the parents everyone wanted.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
That's why we hung out for.
And it is still the truth. Look around. Many of those kids are here today. Our friends, in many cases, were closer to our parents than they were to their own. And all of our friends trusted that they could come to our parents with any challenge they were facing and be heard with a soft heart, without judgment, and then given advice that would help them navigate their way through it. If you have yet to look at the photo album, Sandy and Wyman, A Love Story, I think it's over there. Make sure you take time to do that. Dad's go-to story about their love was by his all-time favorite singer-songwriter, John Prine. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike the noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. She's wearing the shirt she gave him for Christmas that has those lyrics on it. As we all grew older, Dad's lyrical leanings shifted to more reflective and nostalgic, while recognizing that everything and everyone must one day end. It was not unusual to see Dad choke up and cry through a particularly poignant song. Crying with my dad in the dark at a concert was one of my favorite things to do. Hi. Sorry, this is Melissa Rosenberg. Her mama Thel just left us a year ago. Oh, sorry, y'all. I digress.
Oh, wait, it's not again. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Whenever you say so. Crying with Dad in the dark at a concert was one of my favorite things to do. I was privileged to sit in the living room watching yet another musical performance he found on YouTube. I apologize in advance for this one. When he tried to sing along with the words of If We Were Vampires by Jason Isbell. Sorry, Mom. Maybe time running out is a gift. I'll work hard till the end of my shift and give you every second I can find. And hope it isn't me who's left behind. It's knowing that this can't go on forever. Likely one of us will have to spend some days alone. Maybe we'll get 40 years together. But one day I'll be gone. Or one day you'll be gone. I may never recover from that moment when all three of us sat there sobbing in front of the TV. Dad tried to default from singing to his signature whistle that everybody knows, but he couldn't even make it through that. None of us did. And now they never will. I know they got 57 years together, but still, too damn soon, Daddy. Too damn soon. when Jen and I still lived at home on Lakeshore. And VHS videotaping TV shows was the way to go. Dad found an episode of something, like Austin City Limits, I don't know, that featured a bunch of women singer-songwriters, including Rosanne Cash, Emmylou Harris, and several others. Rosanne Cash's My Old Man hit so close to home that I chose it for the father-daughter dance at my first wedding. He and I cried as we sang it to each other while slowly turning together on the dance floor, all our guests wondering what the hell we were singing. The old man is laughing tonight. He's young beyond his fears. But then the smile drops from his eyes, and we all wind up in tears. So let him be who he wants to be, because he ain't never gonna be young again. And let him see who he needs to see, because he never had too many friends. And ask him how he remembers me, because I want to know where I stand. How I love my old man. As we grew up and went through struggles and relationships of our own, John Prine's words came up again. It's a mighty mean and a dreadful sorrow. It's crossed the evil line today. Well, how can you ask about tomorrow? We ain't got one word to say. Well, it's a doggone shame, and it's an awful mess. I wish you love. I wish you happiness. I guess I wish you all the best. Most, if not all of you know, baby sis, Jen, Knifer to me, that one right there in the shirt that matches this, is a raging Fish fan with a PH.
Raging sounds like it's a case of herpes or something.
Rabid, fervent. Can we work with fervent? Humongous, ginormous, whatever.
We'll go with that one.
She's a fish fan with a PH.
Slightly interested.
Slightly, mediocrely involved.
Curious.
She's curious. She's fish curious with a PH. She started listening to and following Trey, Mike, Paige, and Fishman in 1996. The same year she started dating her husband, Andy. She introduced Dad to the band, and while he really liked their music, he didn't become a serious fan with a PH himself until Jen took him to a show in Knoxville in 2009. He was still talking about it all these years later. Trey's words told so many great stories of our shared humanity. Trey is a poet, and I think Dad was a poet at heart too. Dad became a fish evangelist. Whenever he was in the hospital for surgeries, and he required several over the years, he preached the gospel of fish to every night shift nurse or tech who entered the room, falling asleep with it playing through the night. I know this from the nights I spent sleeping over in his hospital room. It was both beautiful and hilarious to watch. Dad shared music with everyone he met. Everyone. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2016 and underwent a double mastectomy, after Jen went back to Seattle, Mom and Dad took turns staying with me overnight to play night nurse. While Mom would sit quietly and read while I slept between doses. Just rest time. Dad would try to entertain me and keep me awake between doses of pain meds. Just another hour, you can do it. Wait, watch this. Fish, of course, was his favorite way. I will always remember him dancing around my bed doing the white man's overbite to Blaze On, which I called night shades because that's how I heard it. Apparently they really say nice shades. Some painkillers, what do you want? It became my favorite Fish song. I meant to put on shades when I said this, but I forgot. It became my favorite Fish song, and one that was a favorite to all of us Rags.
Got one knife.
Yep.
Last weekend, sorry dude, 2 days after we lost Dad, Fish was in Seattle. A true rarity. They never come to Seattle. We told Jen in no uncertain terms that she needed to be at that shows or Dad would be pissed forever. Jen reached out to her friends on the Fish Chicks group, wrestling with whether to go to the shows or not. The Fish Chicks unanimously told her to be at the shows so she could feel awash in the love and the music. When the Chicks asked if she had a favorite song, she said it was hard to say, but that Blaze On was on the top of the list. Friday night, Jen was there and sent me video of Fish opening the show with Blaze On. If you have your shades, please put them on now. And let's do the white man's overbite. And we'll be dancing in the fields, running through the moor. Sing along, friends. Tripping on the barbed wire, buried near the shore. Blazing like a comet, brighter than the full moon. Time to feed the dogs into your eyes. So you better get ready, because the change is coming soon. You got your nightshades on, and the worst days are gone, so now the band plays on. You got one life, plays on. Plays on, Daddy. So we almost lost him in November of 2019 over his damn stubbornness, which was, like so many other things, legendary. His abdominal surgery had fallen apart and he was in unimaginable pain. Mom and our adopted middle sister, Jaylyn, where are you?
I'm right here.
I hear her.
Okay.
There she is. Mom and our adopted middle sister, Jaylyn, were trying to get him to the hospital, and he, of course, refused, cussing and fussing the whole time. They called me, and we all got him to the hospital. He was septic and in multi-system organ failure. We called Jen, and she got on a plane. Dad was back in surgery and then in the ICU for weeks. Jaylyn and Mom took the day shift. Jen and I took the night shift. Once he regained consciousness, he was ornery as freaking ever, demanding ice chips. I just an ice chip. And Fish to play in the room all night long. When he was more himself, he told us that he thought he had died in surgery.
Can I say something about this? I was there. And I walked into that room when he had sepsis, and I gotta tell you, there's machines, 5 machines and blinking lights and tubes, and I freaked the shit out.
So did I.
I was like, whoa. And then I'm sorry, I can't remember your friend who came in.
I don't remember.
It was his friend he grew up with forever, and he
Steve,
came
he's
in.
here.
Steve, right here. Here.
Right. Did see, I thought it was him.
It was Steve.
I gotta go, right? You went down, is it, no, it's not him, it's not him. It was the guy who came in and it was, he's like, he walked in, he just sat down, he was like, I can't take it. I'm looking at this and I can't take it. And I had to walk him downstairs to his car and leave him there. It was the most incredible thing. I mean, I never seen, I'm just saying, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I gotta tell you, it was traumatic.
It was
I'll never
traumatic.
forget the rest of it.
Traumatic is a great word for it.
Yeah. Scared the crap out of us.
Yeah, you sure did.
It was, when was it?
2019, it was right before COVID hit, it was November. So when he was more himself, he told us that he thought he died. I asked if he was afraid or if it hurt, and he said no, it was like sliding down a tunnel of purple pantyhose.
Excuse me, what?
Like sliding down a tunnel of purple pantyhose. Just let that sit with you for a second. Just let that hang out there.
What?
I don't know, man. A tunnel of purple pantyhose. When asked to explain, he said, you know, like when you look through the leg of pantyhose and there's a light shining through it.
How often did you do that?
Sure, when we do that, that's definitely, yeah. It sounds like what it was one of those little kid tunnels made out of nylon that you run through. Anyway, he said he wasn't scared at all, and that it was soothing and beautiful. He felt like it was a gift to be given another chance. He stayed cranky and ornery, but so grateful at the same time. As cranky as he could be, and his grumpiness was legendary, Dad knew how lucky he was too. He really did. I have always called myself the luckiest girl I know. Jen and I know we hit the parent lottery with Wyman and Sandy Ragg. Dad appreciated the life he was given and the family and friends in it. We all did. And we all do. No one wants to die in a hospital. Dad was very clear. He never wanted to go out like that. His dream was to go out in bed next to his love of 57 years and almost 54 years of marriage. His beloved wife, our mom, Sandy. He got his wish.
It sure did.
It wasn't supposed to come true yet.
Yeah, really.
John Prine once said, I guess I just process death differently than some folks. Realizing you're not going to see that person again is always the most difficult part about it. But that feeling settles, and then you're glad you had that person in your life. And then the happiness and the sadness get all swirled up inside you. Damn, I hope he's right. Trey and the voice in Fish captured a little more closely what we feel now. There's a hole in my heart that will never be filled. I miss you. This should all get easier, but it never will. I miss you. I float through the days and the long, lonely nights. I miss you. I miss you, Daddy. Sucks. I will close, finally, sorry. Didn't know it was this long. I will close with words from another Fish song. What was that? You didn't read it? I will close with words from another. You didn't speak. What the hell was I supposed to do? I got a rep for everybody. I will. Oh. Is that Eric? Yeah, I'm gonna just let him get in the door first.
Okay.
Hi. I will close with words from another Fish song that played at the concert Jen attended last week. I hope Daddy enjoyed the view of the concert from above. And I choose to believe that he sent this song and these words to bring us comfort. I hope they bring you some comfort too. I have grown my wings. I am flying. Ascending now, I am soaring. Untied my wrists and flew away. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Thank you all again for being here to celebrate Dad with us. We love you all. We love you, Daddy. Happy 420, y'all. Cheers. Anybody? You wanna go? Or do we introduce? You wanna say something? Oh, I thought that was it. You gonna talk? Oh, okay. All right, we have one more thing. We'll give you a second to recover, refill your drinks, and then we have one more special surprise for you.
Yeah, we have